Hey there, knife people. It's Pocket Knife Collector. It's been a little while since I've done a knife safari video. And a big part of the reason for that is that I don't make it down to the Texas State Surplus store as often as I used to. I'm busy, and their hours are like banker's hours. They're not open on the weekends. They're not open on any holidays. They start later than I usually start work, and they close sooner than I am usually done with work, so there's not a lot of opportunity for me to get out there. But I did, real briefly. I had a spare hour, and they're not near me in Austin. I live in Austin, Texas, but they are way on the other side of the city. So I was able to just get in there for a minute, buy a couple things, and leave. And I did okay. I got some interesting knives in my short visit. These were not pulled out of the bins. The bins are usually, there's $1 knives, there's $3 knives, there's $8 knives, and then there's stuff up front that is priced differently. And these two were priced individually, and this one was in a bucket up front of $15 miscellaneous knives. So this is my first Spartan. The Spartan Harzy is a knife that I have heard a lot about and seen, and this is designed by Les George. I see a lot of Les George love on social media. The Harzy is a pretty expensive knife. This is not a Harzy, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew it was a Spartan and that they have a reputation for good things. CTS XHP steel, so that's Carpenter tool steel. That's an American manufacturer. XHP is a pretty good steel. It's stainless, holds an edge pretty well. It's moderately tough. It's a good choice for an everyday carry blade. This is laminated carbon fiber over G10, which is not my favorite look in the world. I would kind of actually just prefer regular G10 instead of the laminate. Certainly I would prefer just solid carbon fiber if that was an option, but that's usually more expensive. You'll see a lot of Spydercos from Taiwan that have that laminated carbon fiber over G10, like this smock, which is a nice knife, but I'm planning to replace those scales with some micarta scales. So they had this marked at $100, and I didn't have time to do any research, look up and see what they go for new or what they go for used. As I said, I only had a few minutes in the store because I had to get to a meeting. So I took a chance and I bought it at $100, and then later I looked it up, and this is actually a really affordable knife from Spartan. They go for about $150 new. So I didn't find an awesome bargain. I mean, I don't feel like I got ripped off, but it's in pretty good shape. Not scratched up, not beat up. But this is made in Taiwan, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure if it's made in Taiwan. I know it's imported. I should say it's imported. And it won an award for Best Imported Knife at the Blade Show a while ago, I believe. The blade on this is just over 3.5 inches is what I'm getting. Yeah, just a little bit more than 3.5 inches. Got a high flat grind, a swedge, nice big beefy thumb studs, some large jimping. It's a liner lock, decently centered. There's the lockup. It's not quite a deep carry pocket clip. It is a folded metal pocket clip, but about that much of the knife is going to stick out of your pocket. Nice barrel spacers. Rock solid lockup. Not an amazing bargain, but a decent knife at an acceptable price. This one, the SOG Kiku XR LTE, was also priced at $100. This one's got a patina on the micarta handle scales, which is cool when you do it yourself, when you patina your own knives handle scales. It's a little gross to me to get a thoroughly patinaed micarta handle scale that, you know, was a TSA confiscated knife, because that's somebody else's like palm sweat and stuff that that made it patina. You know, I've cleaned this up with rubbing alcohol, and you know, I don't think it's particularly germy or anything anymore. But yeah, I mean, I like the design of the Kiku, and in fact, I'm going to have a video soon about knives by SOG in this series, the Kiku and the Hidaka. I don't want to spoil that video by going over all the points of it now. There's a little chip there in the carbon fiber that I had not noticed until just this moment. It's not a big deal. So I'll just talk about this one. We've got this sculpted micarta handle scales. We've got SOG's XR lock, which is basically the same thing as Benchmade's axis lock, except that before Benchmade made a flipper with an axis lock, SOG did it. That's not quite right. Benchmade has made flipper versions of the axis lock in the past, but they sucked. And now they've got a new one that doesn't suck. And SOG has done this as well. Some of these SOG flippers are not so great. A lot of them are just fine. Here's a SOG Pentagon XR flipper with good action. And the action on this Kiku XR LTE is fine from the flipper. It will work with the, you know, you just holding the XR lock open and flicking it out. You can open it with a thumb hole, but the action is definitely better with a flipper. You know, trying to like flick this thing open, and it's pretty stiff. It can be done, but it's not going to be like a Spyderco when you try and flick it open with a hole. The difference between the Kiku XR and the Kiku XR LTE is that the LTE has carbon fiber liners. So those liners in there on just the regular XR model are steel, and here they are pretty significant slabs of carbon fiber, which gives us adequate strength. The lockup feels pretty solid. There's no steel in there, or very little, and it's light, right? Carbon fiber is lightweight material. Got a back spacer in here, which I guess is G10. The grind on this is interesting. It's got a hollow grind back here, and then a flat grind up here, and a swedge. I guess we can call this a harpoon tip. Fairly aggressive jimping. This again is CTS XHP from Carpenter Tool Steel. And I've already talked about the qualities of XHP, and I think it's a good option, especially in a 3-inch blade like this. It's going to hold an edge pretty well, and it's stainless. The coating, this is a coated blade. I'm not a huge fan of coated blades, especially on stainless steel that doesn't really need a coating to protect it from rust, because coatings are just something that are going to get scratched up. And some people like the way they look when they get worn and scratched. I'm not a huge fan of that aesthetic. This knife has good ergonomics. And that is not the case for all the knives in this series. As I said, I'll have another video talking about the Kiku and the Hidaka and the different generations of Kiku. The pocket clip here is a little bit out of position. This should be tighter than it is. Somebody must have stretched this thing out by putting it on their big thick work pants or something. I sharpened it up with the ceramic rods. It's good and sharp now. And then we got this little guy for 15 bucks. Now, normally I'm not all that excited about blingy, highly decorated little pocket knives, but this is a Stauer. I think that's how you would pronounce that. Staure. It's real Damascus steel, which is not all that extraordinary. I mean, it's a process, right? It adds some complexity to the process of making a knife, but you know, there are plenty of Damascus knives out there that are junk. And my first thought was this might be junk, but I think that might be real abalone. Doesn't look like plastic junk to me. And the details here are sharp. You know, it's not exactly file work, but there's some visual interest in the way they've done the back spring here with these notches on it. And it looks like it's a laminated Damascus. It looks like there's a center layer. So the actual cutting edge might be VG10 or something like that. That's a decent knife steel. It's just a little slip joint. Not necessarily my thing, but for 15 bucks, why not? You know, maybe I'll give it to somebody as a gift. All right, well, that's a long, belated episode of the Knife Safari series. If you liked it, I hope you give it a thumbs up. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll keep showing you knives. Thanks.